Welcome back, everybody. We have a lot of activity coming up in markets with Tesla and the economy in general. And so I want to inform you of what I'm doing on the margins, not touching my long term Tesla investment, not changing our family strategy of investing a certain amount of money every single month into Tesla, and what I'm doing on the margins. So, as many of you know, I have been dabbling a little more than I normally would with options. And really, what I've been playing with are weekly options. And what I'm doing is I'm selling options and I'm collecting premium. And so right now, I have two sold options. I have a sold put, which means I'm short on that at a dollar or at $177.50. And so by being short of that means I think Tesla stock will stay above it. And I'm also short on a $192.50 call option, which means I think Tesla stock will stay below that. And that's just for this week. Okay. So what I'm doing in doing that, I'm collecting about $500 across both of those together. And my theory here is that we're going to stay range bound into next week. All right. Next week on July 2nd, we will get the delivery numbers for Tesla. I have no idea which way this is going to go. I can't predict it. All right. Most people can't. Troy Teslake does a good job at tracking some of these numbers. There's lots of people that do a pretty decent job. I'm not one of those people. I'm the person that will be sitting there on, what is it, Tuesday morning, July 2nd, trying to figure out what's going on and seeing what the numbers are. So leading up to that, my my theory in this weekly investment is that we're not going to do much. We're going to stay pretty stagnant in general. And today, as of today, seems like it's working out pretty well. Tesla's holding up pretty nicely. Now, I do think that there's a chance when we get those numbers on July 2nd that we're going to sell off a little bit, but I don't think it'll be a long sell off. And so I'm ready to buy another long term LEAP contract. So I want to let you know what I intend on doing. So when we get those numbers, I'm pretty sure the numbers are going to be softer than what the market anticipates. And I think that's okay because I think come earnings, we're going to see better margins. We'll hear a more optimistic Elon and Tesla. It'll be leading into the robotaxi event on 8/8, and that will be a reason to get excited and have some excitement back into the stock. And I I'm guessing we will be at 200 or above going into August 8th event. And so with that said, what I plan on doing is buying a leap. I'm going to be buying what is this? This is the June. Let me see. I had this up. This is the June 18th, 2026 leap. And what I'm buying is a $250 strike price. All right. So that's definitely out of the money. That gives me about 2 years or about, let's see, 724 days. 724 days. So literally just about 2 years from today, right? Because we're at June, what's today? June 24th. All right. So this gives me about 2 years for us to get to 250. So it has to move, essentially call it from today, about 50, 60, $60, $70 between today over the next 2 years. I think that's pretty doable. So I plan on buying the 250 call option. And if I look at the delta right now, and delta is really essentially a percentage guess. You could think of it as to what are the chances that the stock will be in the money by this date. Right now, we're sitting at a 53%, 53.6%, and it has a high implied volatility at 51%. So that's pretty implied volatility. So that's what I plan on doing. I think implied volatility would drop is the reason I want to do this. I think it'll drop. I think you'll be able to get a quick short squeeze out of the option contract. I intend on holding it, but I think we'll see a drop. I'll purchase, and I think leading into earnings and into 8/8, we will see it rebound, and it'll be a nice way to double down on my June 18th, 2026 leap call options. So right now I have one. This would be the second one I have. Again, like this is me just limping into this just to have a little something. It's nothing crazy. As you guys know, I'm really all about long term investing. This is this would be, I guess, total about 6 7 grand into this. This is less than 1%. I don't even know what it would be in my portfolio. So, in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing for my portfolio size. So, if you decide to do anything like this, none of it's financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Make sure what you're doing is best for you. But I would say I like this idea of selling options against my current shares because it allows me to collect revenue or income while we stay pretty stagnant here. So right now, what I have is essentially this strangle or straddle, I forget what they call it, where I'm saying that the stock's going to be range bound. Now, normally I don't do a range bound. Normally I have a point of view of where I think things are going, but in this case, my point of view is that we are going to essentially be on hold, on pause until we get those July 2nd numbers. So what I'm doing is I'm selling a 20 delta um, on the put side and a 20 delta on the call side. And by selling those, what I'm saying is it's going to stay in the middle. And that 20 delta is essentially saying there's a 20% chance that the stock will be in the money at those. So as long as it's not in the money, then I win, right? I win all that premium. And so I think I told you earlier, it's about $500 is what I would collect. So nothing crazy. And to be frank, I normally close out of these options when I get a 50% winner. So once I make 50% of that money, I close it out. So my intention is I should have enough to buy another Tesla share, right? Yay, we win. Um, what I would normally do when I feel more confident in the market and what's happening, which I'm starting to get there, I would normally sell puts. Um, I've been selling calls lately because we haven't been moving much, but normally I would sell puts when I don't think we have a lot of downside. So when momentum is on the upside, I'll sell puts. When I think momentum's on the downside, I'll sell calls. And that way I can just collect, a few extra $100 here and there. Again, not financial advice, but it's just a way to be able to collect a little extra income so that I can put that towards more Tesla shares. So just want to share with you guys what I'm doing there. These are kind of my next moves here. What I have right now, you're probably wondering, oh, how'd you get $500 on that? Well, it's because I actually have two sold contracts at the 192 call and two sold contracts at the 177 put. And so that comes out to about $500 between the two of those. And yeah, it's a nice little way to get one or two shares on the margin. Um, Now, where do I think things are going? Because there is some interesting news coming up here. So let me get comfortable here. So we have a couple or several events coming up. We talked about Tesla, right? We got July 2nd. We have the delivery numbers. Then we have earnings on the 17th, right? Farzad, Hans, Nye, Matt maybe will be live streaming that. And then we have 8/8. So those are some very obvious events, but I think what we're going to see come more into focus is the Fed. Okay, the Fed and the selection cycle. So we get two PCE numbers before the next Fed meeting. So this Friday we'll get a PCE number, and that should be very interesting. It might be Thursday. Don't quote me on that, but keep an eye out for that because that's going to be a very big indicator for what happens to the market. Now, also keep an eye on the debate, whether you're into politics or not. The debate on Thursday could have implications to the market because it could signal, who knows what it could signal, right? It could signal, oh, Biden's going to win a reelection. It could signal, oh, Trump's going to win a second term. It could signal, oh, they're going to replace Biden. It could signal, oh, this is more of a stalemate than we anticipated. One could have a big gaffe and the other one could not. You never know what could happen, but it could be a market mover. And that goes right into PCE. So that will be very interesting to watch. Now, PCE is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, right? So we're going to have two of these before the next Fed meeting. And I would say that there's a good chance if these numbers come in the way most people kind of think the economy is. Like most people think the economy is slowing, that we're in a recession, that we've defeated inflation. If PCE starts to reflect that over these next two, there's a chance for a surprise cut. All right. Not guaranteeing it, but there's a chance. And so that would be in July. That would be after I picked up that second leap call option. So there's a lot of things going into this. And then keep in mind with those two leap call options I have for Tesla, we're eventually going to get rate cuts. We're eventually going to get the same or new president, right? This election cycle will be over. We will eventually have AA and all that. So I guess what I'm saying is there's a lot of reason to be pretty optimistic going into the end of the second half of the year here shortly. God, I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. Just got back from the gym, but I want to hit on one other thing: nvidia, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft. They have all really jumped this year, right? They've all had a really nice performance to date. Uh, you know, Apple, throw Apple in there as well. Essentially, all of the Mag 7 except for Tesla. Now, why is that? Let me also add in every AI company has had big hype, right? Huge hype. And they've been rewarded for it on through market cap valuation. The one company that hasn't is Tesla. Tesla's the odd child out of this. That will not last. I think that in the next 6 months, that notion's going to break. Whether it's 8.8, whether it's a licensing deal for FSD, whether it's a certain FSD release, whether it's interest rate cuts, whether it's I don't know. There's going to be something eventually that's going to break the back of where Tesla is right now, and we will see a pop. And I think when it runs, it's going to run. I'm not saying it's going to be like 2019, 2020. We remember those days. Those are good days, but it could be. It very well could be. And so that is another reason why I'm loading up on these call options, and why probably after this week, I will no longer be selling any call options when I do my weeklies. Instead, I'll be selling puts. At least as of today, what is it, June 24th? That is my perception of what I think I'll be doing. So there's a lot of things to be excited about. That's how I'm thinking right now about Tesla, about the market. It's really comes down to three things. It's the Fed, it's the election, and it's going to be robotaxi 8.8. So those are the three big things to keep an eye out if you're a big Tesla investor, as I am. Everything else is kind of noise at this point, right? Even the delivery numbers on July 2nd is going to be noise. I don't think people really care about delivery numbers at this point. It's going to be all about robotaxi, the cyber cab. When's this going to start? Can you get this out there? Can you make meaningful progress? How fast can you get out there? Where are you going to start? With the presidential election, this is more so. It's hard to say if one candidate really moves the market itself. I think Trump is seen as more friendly for the economy, and I think that would definitely move the market in a very positive way. But I think the indecisiveness right now and the lack of knowing, the market doesn't like uncertainty, right? We've known that for a long time. We've talked about that a lot on this channel. But the uncertainty between who's going to be the next president is weighing on the market, and we know that. So I think once we know who it's going to be, that will also assure a new, I don't know, rejuvenation into the market. I'm lacking for words here. So that's the election, that's robotaxi, and then the Fed. The Fed. Again, same thing. The market doesn't like indecision, and the Fed's going to cut eventually. Once the Fed does one cut, we will know this inflation cycle is over. This rate hike cycle is over, and now it's just a matter of time as we cut and slowly go down till we find equilibrium. So I think there's a lot of signs to be optimistic out there. Hence my positions right now. This is, like I said, the last week where I'll probably be selling any calls in Tesla. Right now I got this strangle put on. I don't even know how long I'll keep this open for. Might ride it out to the end of this week, just because I'm already up 50% on it, but we'll see. I don't want to be greedy. And just so you guys know, when I do these, I always go small, right? If you want to know like any trick that I use, it's I if I sell a call or a put, I do I do at the highest, I do a 20 delta, right? And then I will always sell, not always, I guess, because I'm saying I won't now, but normally I'll sell once I hit a 50% gain. And then what's the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, I always do small sizes, right? In relation to my portfolio, right? So again, like this is tiny. I only do two contracts sold calls, two contracts sold put. Keep it small, right? Because then you can do volume. And if you do volume and you screw one, two, three, four, five up, it's not a big deal. You don't wipe yourself out. So take smaller bites, and you'll make, you can afford to make mistakes when you go smaller, right? And it'll happen, right? You'll make a certain prediction, because you're guessing, really is what you're doing, and it'll go against you, but it'll be small and it won't be a big hit. You'll be fine. So again, not financial advice, just letting you guys know what I'm doing. Stream of thought over here. Obviously, as you can tell, none of this is pre-set up or anything. I want to get on, want to let you guys know what I'm doing this week, because I think after this week, it's game on. All right. Also, keep in mind on Wednesday we have nvidia shareholder meeting. That could be another catalyst for Tesla, depending on what Jensen might or might not say regarding Elon, Tesla, XAI, X. We don't know, but that's always another variable. So, with that said, be careful out there. Be smart. Do your own due diligence. Don't listen to some stupid guy on YouTube. And I love you all. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Do that or don't do that. Whatever, your prerogative. It's free. I would enjoy it. Maybe you would. All right. Appreciate you all. I'm going to go. Too much caffeine in one day. Love you all. Peace.